Hello, I'm Michael Depp, editor of TVNewsCheck, and this week I'm with the eponymous talk show host Nick Cannon, along with Jeannette Reyes and Wisdom Martin, anchors of WTTG's Good Day DC, and we are talking TV. Talking TV is made possible by Making the Media, a podcast from Avid exploring the forces that shape the media, news, and entertainment business. The latest episode tackles the subjects of diversity and inclusion within the TV industry. Host Craig Wilson talks with Deborah Williams, Executive Director of the Creative Diversity Network in the UK. Making the Media is available on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Anchor FM, and other podcast platforms. Welcome, Nick and Jeannette and Wisdom.
Hey, thanks for having
us. What's happening?
Good to have you
all.
all.
Good to be here.
Thank you
we
so
all
much.
Family. We in here. It's a regular old family reunion with with me and Wisdom and Jeannette.
We are always trying to facilitate family reunions at Talking TV.
Is that the goal?
Glad to know that. And I just want to say before we start this conversation, this is the first time I've worn a suit for one of these podcasts, but I wanted to do my best to keep my dandy level game somewhere near your realm, Nick. So I got my
dandy level game. I like that. The DLG. I'm with it.
So I've got my best Paul Smith suit here. I was saving it if I ever got a knighthood, but I'm going to use it today. So I appreciate
love Paul Smith.
Pushing me. Excellent. So Nick, a new talk show.
By the way, Michael, just letting you know, I said the little flower.
Thank you. Well, it's remembrance. So yes, thank you.
Beautiful.
So a new talk show is a tough thing, and you've got to push that rock up a very steep hill, and it's rolled back over many a very famous and talented person in the past.
Right.
Your show premiered in late September. It's being distributed by Debmar Mercury, and Fox television stations are the lead station group. Now, it's not unusual for a host like yourself to beam in and banter a bit with local hosts to do that sort of promotional lift, but you've taken it to the next level here. You're on a whistle-stop tour of Fox stations. You're actually co-hosting morning shows in person, which is where we find you soon to join WTTG and Jeannette and Wisdom at Good Day DC. So where did this idea for this tour come about?
I mean, honestly, it was one of those things where I felt it was important to connect with the community and understand, as someone who comes from, years of broadcast training and specifically in the space of radio, I've always known that the most intimate form of entertainment is when you could connect with people locally, and people are welcoming me into their home each and every day. And people like Jeannette and Wisdom, they're pros at that. They get the opportunity every single morning. They're everyone's morning coffee. They're everyone, people feel like they know them. And, we joke about the family reunions, but people really feel like, yo, you're a part of my family. So I can be, on a nationally syndicated show and dress flashily and play the piano and do all those things. But if you don't have a real connection with the viewer at home, then you're doing yourself a disservice. So I really just saw the importance of I said I want to make a show for the community. So I actually have to really be in the communities that I speak about. So as much as I get an opportunity to, I try to make weekly trips to different cities, and DC is the next up the bat, which, I'm Howard alumni. I was there, from 2016 to date. I constantly go there. So I really feel like DC is one of my homes.
Brilliant. So there's a whole different energy that comes with this kind of promotional approach. Jeannette and Wisdom, how are you feeling that on your end? What's the atmosphere like at the station and among viewers with the prospect of co-hosting with Nick?
Well, first of all, we're going to feed him. So we don't feed any of our guests here. So that's
Thanks, Wisdom.
Jeannette, yeah, he's going to get some food. So Jeannette, I'll let you go in now, then I'll jump in later on.
I mean, if you know about any good family reunion, right? And whatever problems you might have before you step into the home, most of it gets resolved if you put some food on a plate and hand it over to them.
A paper
But, you
plate
know,
at that.
a paper plate, right. And then some tin foil, right? So you can take it home. No, I mean, with Nick Cannon, he mentioned it there. I know he's stopped at a couple other cities, but he's got special ties to DC. So I think the folks here really feel like he's kind of coming back home in a way. And we have guests come in the studio all the time. I can tell you, we are prepping now for Nick Cannon's visit.
Y'all cooking already?
I'm really excited. Something like that.
Yeah, we got to be ready because we know what you did Philly, and we know you did New York. So we got to take it up a notch. And DC is your area because you did go to Howard University. So, and we know how Howard likes to, age you. We know how they like to represent. And you've been here before. You've been on at the show at the old station, and now you're coming to the new station. So we got a new station, new beginning, new set. So we're ready for you. So
Nick, we said Nick's coming. We got to get a whole new building.
Yeah, whole new
studio. So this is all for you. If you don't like it, just fake it.
Yeah. Or Nick, you can tell somebody, and they'll probably change it for you because we got no power. But we're excited that you're coming.
I love y'all energy for sure.
Nick, this is a big lift for you since you've got the show itself to do. You're shooting it right now, as well as the Masked Singer. So, I mean, how are you working this into your schedule?
I have a time machine. Honestly, it'll be on the market soon. It's Incredible Time Machines by Nick Cannon. But honestly, I feel like you have to prioritize. I mean, I have a great team who helps me with my time management, but specifically to me, it's no days off. I mean, this is a lifestyle. This is something that I take extremely seriously. Specifically with my show, I call it Central Intelligence, or it's like the hub for all things Nick Cannon. So it gives me that opportunity to really be a little agile, maneuver how I need to, but continue to make it the #1 priority. So like I said, with the help of my team and moving around, but I just like to make sure as I could check off as many boxes as possible. And hey, if we want to win, if we want to continue to take it to the top, we got to make sure that the people feel it and they feel a part of the process. And I'm a true believer in teamwork and in a family mindset. So when I get welcomed to DC, the prodigal son is returned, the boy's coming home. I can just embrace all of that love and hopefully return it back from on a national level.
Yeah, I mean, you show up, you got to be Nick Cannon, right? You've got to have the suits, you've got to have the energy level.
All of
you can't afford to be tired, right?
Well, I mean, this is one I think I say hustlers don't sleep, we take naps. So there'll be during the travel, we'll definitely close our eyes a little bit so my bags don't get heavier. But other than that, we definitely stay motivated out here.
So Nick, as I mentioned before, the syndicated talk show space is littered with many a famous body. So since you've had the show and as you were developing it, what's been your unique value proposition? What are you bringing to this show that fills a gap that we don't see elsewhere?
Honestly, I think it's a couple of things, but mainly I'm being myself. You know what I mean? I'm really getting the opportunity where when I stepped up to this endeavor, I saw there was a void with people looking for optimism. The high frequency approach, as I call it. I mean, the world has gone through so much in the last 1.5 to 2 years, and to offer up something where it's all about positive vibrations, making people smile. I always say humor heals. And I think that's who I am each and every day. So to be able to bring that is really my goal. And, lastly, the reason why we're here, what we're talking about is really to feel a part of the community. I mean, I could have did my show out there in Hollywood and stayed, in my little bubble and kind of did a similar show. But I think what makes this show special is really connecting with the community and having family like, DC and like I said, I've been to Philly and all over the country to really connect to. We're like, wow, he really feels like he's a part of my community. We're literally doing stuff where I'm going to different cities and knocking on people's doors and call, knock, knock, Nick, and just popping up. I feel like that aspect is, you don't really see people connect that way on TV anymore, especially because we've been kind of told, as of recently, to socially distance. And as we're, everybody's getting back outside and opening up again, I think the opportunity to show the power of community is back again.
So you're actually shooting parts of the show while you're in different cities?
Oh yeah, I mean, first of all, I don't step out of bed without a camera rolling. like I keep a camera with me at all times. So and I think that process and taking these trips and really showing the authenticity of the reason for them is important. So yeah, it'll always be cameras rolling. I'm always up to something.
Okay. Yes,
Michael, I want to add to something Nick was saying. I don't want to speak for Nick, and I don't want to suck up to Nick, but I did watch the show, and I did see his monologue, one of his monologues at the beginning of the show, and there was it was funny, but it was a different kind of funny. You know how sometimes you watch a show and the monologues kind of, they kind of digging at people. So that he was talking about that positive attitude, and the monologue was funny and it was positive, which I'm not gonna lie, it surprised me that it was so positive and yet it was still funny. So you're right, it is a different lane and a different feel to it. So I just wanted to throw that in there.
Yeah, but I appreciate you, Wiz. I'm glad you're watching, brother.
I'm watching for the suits. I'm watching for the suits and the shoes.
But it's really high frequency, and there are a lot of shows who thrive in the space of gossip and who are on that lower frequency, but that's just not my vibe. So to be able to actually have a space where I can be fun and friendly, I think it's needed. I think that's what people want to see.
Well, it's interesting that you said, that you're shooting on these other places. I had Jay Leno on this podcast a few weeks ago, and he was talking about his new game show he's doing where they're pulling people in from around the country instead of just like from the back lot of a studio in California. So it's like kind of showing you more of America in the show too, than just one locality. Indeed.
And as we do this, more and more, I really want to, you're going to see Nick Cannon in Nebraska. You're going to see Nick Cannon in Wyoming. You're going to see, because I think that really is the goal, to really show how much of a community America is, and that we have so many more similarities than we do differences.
Nick, I'm curious, what's your ultimate goal here? Like ultimately, I mean, you've done TV, you've done movies, you've done comedy, you've done radio. What's your ultimate goal here?
To eventually get some sleep.
All of us, huh?
Yeah, no, honestly, I mean, this is a dream come true. So I'm living my ultimate goal. I say that each and every day. I mean, I'm a kid who, grew up in the projects and just wanted to get some attention in the neighborhood. And to take it to these levels, I truly see it as a blessing. I mean, at this point, really, my ultimate goal is to build platforms to help others. And that's what I get to do each and every day. I mean, whether it's shining a light on a human interest story or whether it's discovering new talent. I mean, even from the shows like, Masked Singer and shows I've been a part of before, America's Got Talent, Nickelodeon, Wild 'N Out, I've always been able to find this niche to where I can actually give other people opportunities and discover new talent. So really, it might sound a little hokey or even cliche, but I feel like I've been so blessed that now I can be as a blessing. So if you pay attention to the talk show, I'm just really just shining a light on other people and hopefully and the likes of the Quincy Joneses of the world and so many other curators and producers that have blazed trails for the next generation. Hopefully, if I could sit back at the end of the day and say, hey, I helped this person. I opened the door for this person. This person was first seen on the Nick Cannon show. Like, to me, this is that platform to do that. And that's my ultimate goal from this point on in life.
So Nick, you launched in late September, as I mentioned before. You're a long veteran of this industry, but has anything surprised you since you started production? Anything about this you didn't anticipate?
I honestly, because like I said, I love the diligence and the hard work that it takes to do it. But probably surprised, I didn't understand how much fun I was actually gonna have. To be able to wake up each and every day to be creative and come up with new ways to do things and be excited. Even this process, what we're doing right now, we're talking about tapping in and traveling and going to different cities. you would think a daily talk show could become a mundane experience and a little repetitive, but the fact that I'm doing something new and fresh every single day and it doesn't feel like work. So that's probably the biggest surprise to me, because everybody was warning me like, oh, you're gonna be so tired, there's so much work and having to do this, and like I was like, I haven't felt like I showed up to work yet.
Brilliant, brilliant. So Jeannette and Wisdom, are we setting a new standard here for how a talk show kind of needs to set sail, or hosts going to need to put their back in it, like at the local level, like Nick is
Put their back in it. I love it.
I just thought of a song real quick, but we won't get into it.
Yeah, I
Nick,
think
put your back in it. Hey,
right. I think it's
I want
a
royalty
brilliant
if anybody uses that.
I think it's a brilliant idea and a great concept, because now, as he just mentioned, he's mentioned numerous times about taking it to the people and not just doing the same thing over and over again, because sometimes there is a disconnect when it comes to TV host or talk show host, where you can't touch them, you can't connect with them. So by Nick doing this, coming to DC and to these other markets, you're actually seeing him, and he's showing up, and you're like, oh my gosh, there's Nick Cannon. It's Nick Cannon in my driveway, or we're driving down the street or whatever. So I think it's different level.
I will say it's certainly different to see, but it's also not surprising for Nick, and not to suck up, but I think that the thing about Nick is that, I mean, we've been watching him for years, and he has a way, which I think is really tough to do, especially if it's not genuine. You're like a superstar, and yet you are very relatable. Do you see what I'm saying? And I think people connect to that, and that's really hard to achieve. So for him to do this, I don't think viewers will be shocked, but I do think it certainly sets a new standard for others who are trying to come up with the show.
Especially when you consider he doesn't have to do it, because he's got like 40 million jobs, and he's got plenty of money, and he's got the fame and the fortune. So it's not like he has to do this. It's not. It's in his DNA, and he wants to do it. So I think it's a good idea, and I think you're right. The bar is being raised, or if the bar is not being raised, it's taking it somewhere else.
Yeah.
I love it, man. I need to, y'all got to do all my interviews and podcasts.
Other talk show hosts are on notice from this, Nick. So where's your next stop after DC?
We got San Francisco, DC, and then I believe Miami might be the next spot after that. So we just making our rounds, and like I said, my goal is, once we got that middle America, I'm really focused on as well too. So I can't wait to do that. And I think even the content that we create along the way is going to be really special, and I think people are going to really appreciate, like Wisdom said, just hey, Nick Cannon's in my backyard. He's one of us. He likes to hang out and keep it local.
All right. So Nick Cannon, keeping your bag packed at the front door. Thank you so much for being here. Jeannette and Wisdom, thank you. And
thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
A new episode of Talking TV is available most Fridays on TVNewsCheck.com. You can also listen and subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, and Spotify. Talking TV is edited by Alyssa Wesley. The music is by Andrew Melenda, and it's produced and hosted by me, Michael Depp. Talking TV is a production of TV News Check.